All right, good morning, everyone. Today on the Tea Podcast, we have owner at HTeaO of Lafayette, Kylie Roussell. We're going to be talking with her about, of course, HTeaO, but also about her life, how she got started in business, kind of her path to get to where she is now with this company and what the potential future looks like. We're going to be talking about HTeaO and all the products that they have. We have some on the table here. I've already taken a sip of a couple of pieces. So, just sit back and enjoy the show. Alrighty, before we get too far into the conversation, even though we're not far in it at all, but I do want to get my sponsors mentioned here. So our first sponsor, the presenting sponsor, is Chase Group Construction. They take the lead and become your one point of contact for the entire design build process. So if you're looking to build something new, a business, or renovate a space, they take care of all of that. They are a design build firm, so they design it and build it. They have a diverse portfolio of projects, major restaurants, popular restaurants, of course, Fat Pat's in Broke Ridge, Broussard, and Lake Charles. They built those. Medical centers and multi-unit shopping centers. They built it all. Check them out at chasegroupconstruction.com. And they're local and great company, great guys. Check them out. Okay, so today we have Kylie Roussell. Kylie, welcome to the Tea Podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you for bringing this assortment of teas and coffees. This looks nice.
Yeah, I couldn't show up without some treats.
Well, obviously, and it's your business. I mean,
right.
You got to show it off. So before we get too into this and we talk about teas and I get lost in the tea, like they say, lost in the sauce, so tell us a little bit about you. Are you originally from the Lafayette area?
I consider myself from the Lafayette area. I grew up in a small town, Midland, Louisiana.
Okay.
So right kind of west of Crowley.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, little small, we were rice field basically. We had a high school that 3 elementary schools fed into, so very small town. But I consider myself from the Lafayette area because growing up, everything we did was in Lafayette. So if you went shopping, it was in Lafayette. If you went eat out, it was in Lafayette. That was basically our second home. So yeah, I know Lafayette like the back of my hand, and I consider it home.
Yeah, okay. Well, when you said Midland, I was like, oh, she's about to say Texas.
Most people say, you don't have an accent. I'm like, no, Midland, Louisiana.
Look, you do have an accent.
I do, but not the Texas one.
Right. So that's awesome. So you're from this area. Obviously, you have roots here. Growing up, I guess in high school, kind of, that thought process, what was your goals in life? Were they to open up a tea spot?
No. So, yeah, growing up, I knew in high school I wanted to be an accountant. I wanted to own my own accounting firm. That was my goal. So I actually attended McNeese State University in Lake Charles, received my accounting degree and my management degree, and went into the accounting firm and worked in public accounting for about 4 years. Then I had an offer to teach accounting at Sewella. Well, it was Louisiana Technical College at the time in Jennings. I did that for probably 7-8 years before they were taken over or merged with Sewella Technical Community College.
Because Sewella was only in Lake Charles at the time,
Only in Lake Charles at the time, yes. So they merged with our campus. So I continued to teach accounting, but then I went into administration. So I actually ran the Jennings campus for about 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my background. And then my current husband is a general contractor, and he likes to he always has that entrepreneurial spirit, wants to open business.
He has to build something.
He has to build something. He has to invest in something. He has to be always doing something. So with our current business partners, we were already talking about doing some sort of business together. So we talked about it for a couple of years. Couldn't decide, they potentially wanted a restaurant. I didn't want to. That's a whole nother life.
Oh, the restaurant's a tough business.
We love to travel. We love to hunt. We love to fish. We're just country, So I'm like, I am not tying myself to a restaurant. I like to deer hunt. I like, So our current partner called us one day, and they actually sell, this is kind of different, but they sell show pigs.
Okay.
So there's a whole market. There's a whole market for like these 4-H students.
Yeah.
Okay, so he breeds and sells these show pigs.
Is that where the little girls and
Yes,
guys with the little
yes,
stick and they
yes.
stare aggressively into the eyes of
Correct.
the judge or whoever it is?
This is their business.
Okay.
Our partners, yes.
Nice.
So he ran into someone who had invested in HTeaO at a pig show. So he called me and he said, "Hey, Kylie, can y'all look into this business, this franchise? I think it might be a great thing." So long story short, I took a couple of weeks, tried to look at why not to do it, because that's, couldn't find it. Loved the concept. And then here we are.
Yeah.
2 years later.
So that only took 2 years?
It took 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long were you teaching or adminning at
18.
18 years? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And my husband's been in construction over 20.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our background.
So 18 years in that educational space. And that was that's after you were in the accounting world.
Yes.
God, dog. And so how long were you in accounting?
For about 4 years.
Okay. So a little over 20 years of just accounting and then teaching accounting.
And then teaching
essentially.
accounting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Accounting that's an exciting industry, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Most people don't think we have personality, but we do.
No, you definitely do.
That's probably why I didn't last in the accounting firm. I didn't.
Yeah.
I kind of transitioned to something else because I do like people, and sitting behind a desk in a cubicle by yourself all day didn't really fit my personality. Although I love accounting, that's why I kept teaching it. The work. That part of it, that aspect of it, I need people.
Yeah. I feel like accounting, you have to really sit down and like crunch numbers, obviously. And then, being a talker, being social is one of those things where if you're not crunching numbers, you're not doing your job.
Correct. It's all about those billable hours.
Right. And so, so you're more of a talker. You have more of a social kind of personality where it's almost like you would have probably fared better in a marketing setting or public relations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I would have probably maybe taken a little bit of a different path. Although, like I said, and I know this sounds crazy, my students would say, "Miss Kylie, we hate accounting." And I'm like, I love it. I love the work of it. I love what accounting is. I guess the organization. But yeah, something a little more social and, dealing with people, sales maybe, like marketing, things like that.
Yeah. Have you ever taken a personality test?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Like a type A, type B, type C type thing?
Yeah. I actually are more type B. Mm-hmm. I'm not as much of a type A. I'm more of a type B.
Yeah, that jives. Yeah. It's just funny that type A would be more aligned with accounting.
Correct.
Because that's analytical, that's very, structured and organized. Type B, I went down a rabbit hole of looking up type personalities and discovered that there's a world beyond type A and type B. There's type C, D, there's a number of them. And I kind of fluctuate in all of them.
Correct.
In a weird way. I don't know if that says something about me, but I'm more of a creative person, so I live in type B, but type C also has a little flavor. I forgot what type C meant, and then I do love data, but I love data in a creative way.
Correct.
Like I love looking at Google Analytics whenever I post something that I've written about a business. I like looking at, the graphs. I like seeing where the trends are, and I like, throughout the month and the year, I look back and like, okay, where were my spikes? Where were my lows? Why were my spikes high? Why were my lows low? And I can almost tell you the reason why my lows are low is because I didn't post that day and I wasn't very active.
You'll see a pattern.
Yeah, and
There's gonna be a pattern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, because I was in a leadership group. It was in the Crowley area early on in my career. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was called, but they had this lady who came in and did this whole personality assessment. And whenever I got my results, she looked at me and she said, "Yours are very odd." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Most people have like a piece of every segment."
Right.
you're like 50% analytical and 50% social.
Wow.
You know, and she's like, that's very odd. I'm like, no, but that says a lot. So I understand. Yeah, it was really cool to really see
that's like a hard divide. Like,
yeah, she's like, you're either analytical or you're so. I'm like, oh, that kind of explains my life.
Yeah, right. It just depends on what mood you're in.
What mood I'm in.
Awesome. So yeah, tell me a little bit about, like, give me the high level of HTeaO in a nutshell, and then after I give our next sponsor, we'll go into a deeper dive of just kind of the nuts and bolts, how everything works. But like, who is HTeaO?
Yeah, so HTeaO came out of West Texas. The owner who started it, his mom and stepdad owned a burger joint in Amarillo called Buns Over Texas.
Okay.
In that burger joint, they served flavored tea. So they noticed that people were coming to the drive-thru and coming in just for the tea. So his stepdad had the idea of let's do like a little side business of just for the tea and see if it does well. And, you know, so Justin Howell, the owner of the franchise, said, that's not going to, you know, well, it did. It was successful. So then he said, well, that's right. People are still coming for the burgers and stuff. They know, let's put one across town where people wouldn't be going for it and see if that works. And it worked.
Just for tea?
Just for tea.
Okay.
Just for tea. So that's when they were like, okay, wait a minute, maybe we have something. And throughout the years, worked on, you know, building that. I think it was called Texas Tea at first. And then when they franchised, they switched it over to HTeaO. And then here we are.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So it was called Texas Tea and then transitioned to HTeaO.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious on the name of HTeaO. It has there's a duality in the meaning.
Mm-hmm. There is.
Or actually, it's kind of multiple things, but obviously the big one, HTeaO, the word, if you look at the logo, it has the word T in it.
Correct.
TEA.
Yes.
But H2O in an audible sense, you see the letter H, the number 2, and the letter O.
Correct.
And that's obviously if you've been to school at any point in your life, you know that HTeaO is from the periodic table combined creates water.
Water, yeah.
Okay. Water just so happens to be the base of tea,
Correct.
coffee, everything that we drink,
Correct.
essentially.
Absolutely. And the reason, yes, and that was very calculated because our water is a big component of our tea. So if you ever notice when you go to a fast food place and you get a soft drink, it tastes different at every fast food place. The element that is different is the water. Okay.
Yeah.
So at HTeaO, what they've done is in our store, we have a mini plant, a filtration plant. It's an RO, reverse osmosis water system, which is a very healthy water system. So our water is neutral. It's not alkaline. It's not acidic. It's not anything. It's neutral. So every single HTeaO has that water plant. So if you drink tea, our tea in Lafayette, Louisiana, or you go to Amarillo, Texas, it tastes the same because of our water plant.
Yeah.
So and we sell that water. So we have a lot of people who are health conscious and a lot of people who just had a baby. You know, you have to have that, you know, neutral water for the formula. They'll actually come in and fill their 5-gallon or their 3-gallon home service jugs with us. We have the actual capability. We have the machines to fill them with our water.
So like those big blue jugs? Okay.
We used to call them the Kentwood bottles.
Yeah, that's what I was about to call it, but I was like,
I know,
let
it's
me
kind
not
of
give
proprietary.
Kentwoods.
It's kind of proprietary, but that's what we used to call them. You know,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
called them that, you know. But that we have that. We sell the jugs, we sell the water, we sell it all. And we have a lot of customers who are coming in who are health conscious or just want good, clean water.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get my next sponsor in because I have so many like individual little questions that want to dive into.
Okay.
But yeah, let me get my sponsor in. So if you have been listening or watching at any length of time, you know that our next sponsor is the Music Academy of Acadiana. They are Acadiana's top choice for music lessons. So if you are a parent or if you are a child to a parent, we're all children to a parent. But if you are a current child and thankfully, if you are and you're listening, cool. Hopefully you're at least 18 because I try to restrict this to 18 and older. But what I'm getting at is you can be young, you can be old, you can be beginner, you can be expert. You can learn music at any point in time in your life in any style. They teach it all. They have a very diverse group of instructors. They've appeared on American Idol and The Voice with some of their talents. A really cool company. All the instruments, if you want to learn them all, they have them. I'm not sure about a didgeridoo. They probably do have a didgeridoo. And if you don't want a didgeridoo, don't. They have the capability of teaching voice lessons and also audio production. So if you're kind of the background type of person, they teach that. They have an in-house recording studio that's award-winning, a really cool space. Ultimately, their goal is to make music lessons fun, educational, and to help foster the next generation of musicians and creative thinkers. Their website on screen, you can see it. I'll tell you, it's musicacademyacadiana.com. Check them out. They're local, founded by UL Lafayette Music School graduate Tim Benson. Great guy. He's also in an early 2000s emo cover band called The Criers. They tour locally and throughout the south of Louisiana, so they sound just like all the music that you used to listen to. Evanescence, I think they sing songs from that, and it sounds just like it. So really cool, but we really appreciate them. And let's go a little farther into the tea. Literally, that's my podcast. The tea.
we were made for this podcast.
Yeah, right. I love it. Okay, so I know I want to dive into the water a little bit more, but I just want to say that I don't remember exactly how I learned about the company, but I think maybe somebody had reached out and said they saw a sign on the property, and it's something about, tea. And I'm like, oh, tea? A tea place? And I'm thinking, because I remember there was a tea place on Kylie Saloon years ago. I think it was called Steep House. And it was like a little boutique, almost like a little coffee shop, but for tea.
Okay.
It was like, it had that vibe where you just go and you hang out, and I don't know if they sold crumpets there, but they had little treats, and you would get like brewed tea and like cut. It was like it was a great spot if you wanted like really boutique tea, I guess. And but so when I heard about another tea place, I was like, I got my interest up. So I was like, what kind of tea place is this gonna be? Because there are a bunch of places that serve something called loaded tea.
Correct.
And I've tasted them. They're a powder substance. They're mixed with water, and that's it. And they taste very flavorful. There are debates on the health part of it and also the business operational side of it, but that's neither here nor there. I'll just say that what HTeaO is not loaded tea, but they do have teas that are loaded.
Well, we are not loaded teas.
Exactly.
That is like the biggest misconception. And a lot of people come in, and if ever, your viewers have a chance to visit HTeaO, you have to come in the front door. You have to actually experience the front lobby and the sampling of the teas.
Right. That's the best part, I think.
That's the best part. Come feel yourself up on the samples. But the biggest misconception has been the loaded tea aspect. We are not that. This is natural iced tea. This is like the flavoring we have on the tea is the natural fruit is sprayed upon the leaf and put in the satchel. We brew every flavor individually. We don't add flavoring. That's not what we do.
Yeah.
So that's been a big misconception.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is actually when our brewers brew every day, we brew fresh tea. They're brewing every single flavor individually. It's not any, syrups or added. Now, as far as the loaded part, our tea has the normal natural caffeine. So we used to have one tea that had extra.
It wasn't a B12 or something in it?
No, it was more caffeine. It was a turbo.
Oh, y'all don't have it anymore.
We don't have it anymore.
Okay.
Just because of all the things that have been happening in the country, and they don't want to be responsible.
Right. Okay.
But we now have what's called natural tea shots.
Oh.
So it's a no jitter extra caffeine that you can add if you want to your tea.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be no jitter. I'm not a
I don't know how you would manage
energy
that,
shot
but cool.
person.
Yeah.
I have enough energy naturally. I'm not an energy shot person, but the customers who buy it love it. So we sell a lot of them. So they just add it to their tea if they'd like, but I think naturally it has enough.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah. So whenever I learned about you guys coming, I saw the sign, I went and took photos of it, and I did a little bit more research. And of course, I learned a lot more after meeting with you and going into the store. But I was really intrigued by the fact that there was a place that served predominantly tea, because I was like, you can get tea at like McAllister's, and they have good tea, but you want to eat there and get the tea.
Yeah.
And, other places like McDonald's, they have good tea. It's usually too sweet for me, so I'll cut it in half. Raising Cane's has good tea, but I cut it in half. It's all basic black brewed tea.
Correct.
I think the only other place that I know of in town that's readily available to get a different flavor of tea, I think, is Jason's Deli. I think they have a variety of like hibiscus and I think Curran or Surin tea. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they have a couple of different options.
I've seen a couple of places in town that have like other options, like maybe one or two other flavors. Yeah.
But they're not like, you don't have an assortment of white tea. You don't have,
Correct.
There is usually just black tea with a flavoring or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we serve, we have black tea, white tea, green tea, and we do have an herbal. So within our flavors, you do have those different types of tea.
Isn't it all technically herbal though?
I'm not a tea expert.
Okay, yeah.
But it's natural, so yeah. So, we do have that. And yes, it's a scary, whenever we looked at this concept, it's like, okay, we're just selling tea. And in fact, everyone we encountered when we were looking for a broker, when we were looking for, everybody's like, so y'all want to sell tea?
Like,
y'all
are y'all
just
sure?
want to sell tea? I'm like, yes, we looked at this concept. It's doing great in Texas. It's doing great in Oklahoma. It's really, spreading. We want to do tea. But the market I didn't anticipate. So I know the South is tea drinkers. And I'm thinking sweet tea, okay? And what the beauty of our business is, like you just said, I go to McDonald's or I go to McAllister's and it's a little too sweet, Well, the beauty of our business is we make it how you want it. So, or you come into the front lobby and you make it how you want it. So if you want a quarter sweet and 3/4 unsweet, you can do it. If you want half and half, you can do it. So our customers love coming in and making their own special concoction of exactly how they like their tea. So that's the beauty of HTeaO.
Yeah.
And then the market I really didn't anticipate was the unsweet tea drinkers.
Oh, there's a lot of them?
Lots.
Wow.
Lots. So
my little boy is like, it just tastes like water.
those are your healthy people, not me. I guess not me. That's why I never knew there was a market. So when they go to a restaurant or they go to McAllister's or McDonald's or wherever, they have unsweet regular. That's their only choice. Well, at HTeaO, we probably have like 6 or 7 unsweet flavors. So they love coming in because they said it's like a treat, because as an unsweet tea drinker, they don't get the flavors. Everything's reserved for the sweet tea people.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, welcome,
Yeah, because unsweet tea is just, you're a bitter person, right? No, I'm joking. You're not a bitter person. Look, my life at this point, I'm having to transition to less sugar, not for health reasons, but kind of like my family history is showing that I need to cut back on sugar. So I'm like, okay, so now the first thing I put in my cup is unsweet tea, but I fill it up about usually halfway. Sometimes, depending on the cup and how tapered it is, I'll fill it up 3/4, because that last like large top, you poured it with sweet, and it's like almost perfectly half.
It's enough. Exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting.
And that's the beauty of HTeaO. You can come in and make that, choice. When you said about the unsweet tastes like water, one day I was working the drive-through, because I like to work in the store just to kind of, stay in touch with the customers and, a familiar face. And she said, it's just, taste it. It's a little watery today. And in my head, first thing I thought was, isn't it like that every day? I don't know if I know the difference.
It's like, what do you mean watery? I mean, it could be like watered down. Maybe that's what they're saying. But tea is water.
Like, I get it every day, and today I'm like,
okay.
Okay, we'll just fix you another one, because I don't know.
Yeah. So kind of on that vein, going back to the water, the plant, I mean, it's really cool that you guys have a plant inside to treat the water, because that is one big thing about anything, really, cooking in general.
Correct.
I mean, take pizza, for example. New York City has pizza water. I don't know if you knew this.
I did not.
Okay. If you want your pizza to be similar or at the level that New York City pizza is, apparently, there's New York City pizza water. And it's their water bottled or contained some way where you use that water to create your dough.
Right.
And there's a certain acidity in it, the pH level, whatever the chemical compound of that water is, makes that dough a certain way.
Yeah.
And kind of in that same vein of water, at home, I brew my own tea at home. I'm a big tea drinker. I love getting tea at a drive-through or in a restaurant, but at home I make it. And I've experimented with, adding more tea bags I'm actually brewing the stuff. I'm not just taking Crystal Light and mixing it in a jug, okay?
Right.
The way I do it is I take a pot, just a regular half-size pot or so, put water in it, and then I take a tea bag. Right now I'm using gallon-sized tea bags. So I'll boil the water a little bit, and then I'll drop the tea bag right before the water starts boiling a lot, to where it starts kind of heating up and kind of boil the tea leaves a little bit. And then I'll let it sit probably 10, 15 minutes. But we used to live in an apartment, and I would do that, and I noticed that the edge of my pot would have a film. And I was like, what is that film? And I'm living in the country. I say the country. No, this is Turkey Creek, only about an hour away, but it's country enough.
Yeah.
The water was different.
Yeah.
It was softer. Just city water was much softer than here. And it apparently had more fluoride in it. I don't know. Apparently that's a controversial thing too at the moment.
Yeah.
But I've never witnessed tea having a film over it, like to the points where in my apartment and in my first home, I took a napkin and I would, what do you call that? Skim the top of it. Because it was just this film of black tea. And I'm like, why is it doing that? So one day I said, I wonder if it's my water. Because I've never witnessed that before.
Right.
So I went to Super One and I grabbed a jug of distilled water. Like distilled water has nothing in it. Like
It's neutral.
It's not good to drink just straight distilled water.
Right.
You got to mix it with something.
Right.
And I know using it with tea should be fine. So I boiled the distilled water, put the bag in, and I noticed no film. I'm like, something is in my water.
Yeah, it's countering.
What
it's counteracting.
is it? Yeah, and it's causing it to do some kind of reaction. And then I noticed with the distilled water, my tea tasted smoother, so much better. I was like, okay, I can't make this a habit, though, going to Super One and buying jugs of distilled water.
Yeah.
And it just so happened we had just moved into a newer house. And you know how when you move into a house, you have all these salespeople come to your door like, hey, we got this. You got an alarm system. Well, it just so happens that we got an alarm system, and the company that we got our alarm system with also sells water treatment machines. And so it's a water softener, water conditioner, whatever you want to call it. But it came with a 3-stage filtration unit underneath our kitchen sink. And so we have a water tap. And so also the water is whole home filtered through the water softener and all that good stuff. And I noticed now that I made my tea, I don't have a water film.
Right.
And I don't even use a jug anymore. It's just straight.
Yeah.
I'm like, so cool.
Our system is a 3-filter system. Our RO system. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. You know, a huge difference. So much so that, you know, they have every store invest in this, and it's not cheap, you know, this plant, because that's what makes the tea. You know, that's what makes HTeaO different from getting it anywhere else. That consistency, and that's what they're big on. They're big on consistency. So it's consistent across the board.
Yeah, so when you have your own plant and all the other locations, it doesn't matter what the city water is essentially is. You're taking that water and cleaning it and making it the same across the board.
Correct. Exactly what the formula is that HTeaO needs it to be to make the tea taste the way they want it to taste. Yep.
See, that's amazing right there. I love that.
We're just not your regular tea store.
Yeah,
we have some science behind this.
You're not just pouring water out of a water hose, you know, all the metals and all that good stuff going in it.
Only the best for Lafayette.
Right. No, this is amazing though, because it really does change the texture. I mean, you would think, okay, so obviously if you're not a tea drinker, if you're not any kind of liquid connoisseur, if you're not a coffee drinker, you don't understand that the water makes a difference.
Yes,
and it can make the water taste it's going to sound weird, feel rough.
Yeah.
Because whenever I had the water with the film on it, and then I tasted the water with the distilled water, or the tea with the distilled water, it was like, I don't know, it was just smoother. It felt different.
So, like I told you where I was raised in Midland, we had well water. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do. My grandpa had well water.
We had well water, okay? So my great-grandmother, I was fortunate to be, she was still alive while I was going through school and through high school. And my great-grandmother would make tea, iced tea. I never drank it because the jug had that film. And I was like, I don't know about that, So all my life, I'm going to tell a secret right now. All my life, I never drank tea. Okay.
And you own a tea place.
And so I'm going to tell a really big secret. So when my husband and I were on our way to go to the interview for the franchise, because we were the first one in Louisiana, so they really wanted to make sure they had true Cajuns and, Louisiana people run in Louisiana. And my husband, Carlton, was like, what if they want us to drink the tea? And I'm like, we're going to drink the tea.
Yeah, you're going to
We're going to drink the tea. So he's like, I don't know if I can. And I'm like, but you will. So
he wasn't a tea drinker?
He was not either.
No, stop it.
I know, I'm telling secrets. Neither one of us were tea drinkers. But the point of my story is we get there, they do offer us tea, but they also offer us water because they're known for their water. So that was his saving grace. I did drink the tea. It was watermelon. And I loved it. It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
And from that day on, I have been a tea drinker. So for those out there that don't think they drink tea, they might drink our tea because it's just totally different, in my opinion.
Yeah, no.
In my opinion,
I mean,
yes.
you have firsthand experience. You were not a tea drinker,
I was
and now
not
you are.
a tea drinker, and now I am.
But you were also investing in the business, so you're like, look,
there is a
we're
little
going to drink the
bit,
tea.
But I could drink the water. I don't have to drink the tea, but I choose to drink the tea.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So my wife is not a tea drinker. However, she will drink the loaded teas. I don't know why she likes that more, but I told her, I said, you just like green tea or like white tea then. Maybe you don't like black tea. Maybe it's just a taste that you don't like. Thankfully, my little 8-year-old boy loves tea. I brew it and he'll drink it. He'll get it at a restaurant, and I love that because my wife won't. And so I can't share my love for tea with anybody else except for my little boy at the moment. Because there's been too many times where I've had my tea in a cup, like, at a restaurant, you'll get a to-go cup, and they look the same. And so my wife loves drinking soda with a meal, and I'll drink tea. And there's been too many times where she's grabbed my cup, not realizing it, and she would sip it. Now, granted, you can also be a tea lover, and if you think that you're about to sip
That's correct.
soda,
It's your mind. Yes,
you are getting a rude awakening.
Yes,
it's like, what is this flat,
I'm like that with root beer. Like, don't let me accidentally taste your root beer.
Oh, God. Root beer is a different animal, too,
Yeah.
though. But, yeah, so my wife, she's been shocked a few times, and I told her, I said, it's because you're not, like, mentally prepared to taste it. But she did go try some samples at HTeaO.
Okay.
I brought her, whenever, like, the first couple weeks y'all opened, I brought her. My little boy loved it. She tasted it. She was like, it's okay.
It's okay. That's what we get.
Yeah.
From the true non-tea drinkers. And that's okay. They're like, it's okay. It's not bad. It's, better than I expected.
Yeah.
But I don't really... I mean, I grew up, I was a soft drink drinker. Like, that's what we had. We didn't have Kool-Aid in our house. We had soft drinks. But, so I understand. I get it.
So, I know this is a tangent, but what kind of soft drinks did y'all have? Was it Dr. Check?
Coca-Cola.
Okay, you had the good stuff.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
My mom, and she's going to hate me for saying this, but my mom was a Coca-Cola drinker. And hence, we are big Coca-Cola drinkers. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even I passed it down to my son. No.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's just, that's what we had in our house. Yeah.
So growing up, we, as little kids, I think my parents tried to not give us soda at a certain point, but then we went to our momo's house and they had it for like get-togethers and not. I remember being a kid, getting the off-brand sodas. Now I still drink it as a kid because that was all that was given to me, and I want the fizz, I remember getting Dr. Check, Dr. Thunder, the Walmart brand, all those things. And then I remember there was one brand, I can't think of the name of the brand, but it came in a 3 liter bottle. You can't find a 3-liter bottle.
No,
on
and
the
that's all
shelves.
and growing up, that's all they had. And then now it's like, where are they? Now it's all 2 liters.
Yeah, it's just 2
Yeah,
liters. But I
yeah.
remember the 3 liters
Yeah.
being there, man. That you got a lot of Coke, for that 3 liter.
That's a
But
lot,
yeah,
yeah.
you don't now. It's
Yeah.
crazy to see how that is.
I
but
mean,
yeah.
our addiction to Coca-Cola is so bad that before an event at my home, my mom will call and say, because at one point in my life, I drank I was like, okay, the Sam's Choice brand
Yeah.
isn't bad,
Yeah.
okay? And she'd call and say, do you have the real stuff? Because if not, I'm bringing my own. And I'm like, I'll get the real stuff. So, yes, that's how bad, yeah.
So, funny you say that because we're very similar in that way where certain family members' houses have less options for the wet stuff to put on your tongue, and so usually they have. A majority of our family has alcohol.
Right.
That's
right.
the main thing they have in stock.
Right.
They have water and alcohol.
Yes.
You don't want alcohol, you have water. So what we'll do is we will, if we know that we're going to these particular houses that may not have the things that we want to drink, we'll stop and get our own 20 ounce.
Yes, I do the same.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Just in
Yes.
case. But thankfully, as the years go by, people realize, okay, we have certain people who like things. So if you want to be a good host, you grab,
Yes.
the things that people like. But yeah, so
Yeah.
good little side tangent on the
Yeah.
soda situation there, which would be interesting. You guys could almost do a soda, a fountain soda.
So my aunt, my mother's sister, who also has the same affliction in life that she is a Coca-Cola drinker, she came to the store the other day and said the exact same thing. She's like, "Why don't you have a soda fountain for us? I would come here to get a soda with,
Yeah. Because I got that good ice.
Yeah, we got that good ice. So, yes, it's been mentioned. Yeah.
Okay.
That's been mentioned. When you mentioned the alcohol earlier, so many people ask us if we sell the little shots for them to add because they buy our tea for.
Now that would be a loaded tea.
They buy our tea for adult parties. They love to come and get it because they said it's wonderful. So I'm like, no, we don't sell it, but what you do with our tea when you walk out the door, we don't care. You know?
Right.
But there's a big market for that as well, using our tea.
All right.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to the teas, how many teas do you guys have on tap? I will say tap because it's what it is. It's a tap.
Yeah, it's between 25 and 26. The company will say 26, but they also include our pink lemonade.
Okay.
Because we brew it technically, but I don't, so about 25 tea flavors.
Okay, so you brew the pink lemonade. Is it white tea?
No, the pink lemonade is pink lemonade, but we run it through our brewer.
Okay.
It's like-
But it's still got the good water.
So it still has the good water.
There you go. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's about 25 tea flavors. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And so you said something too that I thought was interesting and the conversation kept going was you're not just adding flavor to tea that was already brewed.
Correct.
You are including the flavor component, which is fresh fruit or whatever the if it's mint.
Correct.
Into the bag that gets brewed.
Correct. Yes, it's in the
Okay.
satchel. So we have all of the flavors. We brew them all individually. We don't add any syrups or anything. Just what's in that satchel, the natural fruit or natural flavoring is there. Like it's already on the tea leaf. So, and that's proprietary. I don't know how they do it. They don't tell us, that information, but it's all natural and we don't add anything to it. So,
Yeah, I think that's
except our water.
I think that's amazing because it's not you. Someone who's concerned about sugar intake, especially unsweet
Correct.
tea drinkers, you're not just putting syrup in there.
No.
So your unsweet tea drinkers can get that flavor that you mentioned. Because
Correct.
that's why
Correct.
unsweet tea drinkers can't get flavoring anywhere else because it's usually sugar-based.
Sugar-based syrups. Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh,
Yeah,
fascinating.
I know. I mean, people just don't realize. Yeah, we're a really pretty cool place.
Yeah, no, I think it is as well. The parking lot you guys have is interesting. I know that's a big point of contention.
That's a point of contention. That's I guess it was such a great location.
Yeah.
When it came up, we had to jump on it because it's hard to find.
Especially on this side of town.
Especially on this side of town. And some things that were originally anticipated didn't happen after we purchased the land.
yeah.
But I think once the construction next to us, the guy who owns it's great.
And it's
Great
almost
guy.
done, the construction,
Almost
right?
done. The entrance off of Kylie Saloon is actually partially ours. Okay, so it is a shared entrance that goes into that apartment complex or townhomes. So it is an HTeaO entrance off of Kylie Saloon.
Okay.
But until the construction is settled, nobody will really understand that. It doesn't look like it right now, but it is. So
Okay.
there will be signage showing that you can turn off a Kylie Saloon. But
Good,
yes, our parking
good.
lot, we tried to put a business on a really small piece of land, and yeah, it's a source of contention.
But you fit it.
But we fit it.
Yes.
We fit it, and it's working. It's working so far.
Okay.
Yes.
Just real quick, I'm looking at your website and I noticed something very odd, like literally just a second
Okay.
ago. I'm looking at your hours.
Yes.
You have Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., Saturday, 8 a.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. But
Yes.
the closing time
Yes.
is 8:05.
Correct.
Why?
So that's a corporate thing. Their explanation to us, like in our orientation, is that most people don't remember your closing time. So they think you close at like 8 o'clock. So they're hurrying to get there for 8 o'clock. So their concept is they get there right at 8 o'clock and they're like, are y'all closing? And we're like, no, you got 5 minutes. So that's kind of, and people remember it. It's kind of memorable. Like, that 05 kind of stays in your mind. So yeah, so that's kind of their concept
Okay.
of what they do. You
So-
got 5 more minutes. Yep.
Yes, that is right up my alley because I am the person that gets there right on time.
Yeah.
Or say right on time. Usually, if you're on time, you're late. They say.
Yeah. Well,
I'm that
always,
guy.
I'm late.
I'm that guy. That's probably my type B.
That
coming
is
out.
mine as well. That is my biggest affliction is that I am always right on the money or I'm late.
That's
Very
my
seldom I'm
wife
early.
is probably screaming through the screen, going, "Yes, that's my husband. He's always behind.
Yeah.
He's always running late." And I know this about
Mm-hmm.
myself, and I feel bad about the people that I affect sometimes with
yes.
my lateness, and so I usually apologize. So to see that you guys have an 8 o'clock ish closing time, but with that extra 5 minutes, it's like, okay, cool. I have 5 minutes. That's all I need.
For the procrastinators in
Yeah,
us.
God, yes. Okay, it's so interesting. I never realized that until just now.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a lot of questions about that.
And obviously, the branding is very Texas based.
Mm-hmm.
The logo is literally a huge Texas state.
And I think that is, we won't see the change, but HTeaO is, because they're in so many states now, there is some work being done on the logo.
Oh,
There is
okay.
some changes happening.
So, is it going to be universal change, or will it be a state by state change?
No, it's gonna be universal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be universal, but it's gonna benefit all of the states.
Got it.
It hasn't. I don't really think it's affected us. Because at first, before we opened, people were like, "Oh, nobody's gonna go there because it has a Texas." And I'm like, "Well, the Texas Roadhouse here in town is like one of the top in the nation.
Yeah, and it has a Texas in the
and
logo.
It literally says Texas Roadhouse. So we weren't concerned about that. But I think from what they're showing us, their changes, I think is gonna be great for just the franchise in general.
Okay. So we are at about 43 minutes. I want to go ahead and talk about some of the products that we have on the table here. We already talked about some of them, but one in particular we didn't talk about was the coffee.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize we're also a coffee spot as well. We sell free reign. So Cole Hauser from Yellowstone owns a coffee company.
Okay.
Cole Hauser went to HTeaO and partnered with us, and all of the franchises sell his coffee exclusively in our stores. He just put it in a big retailer recently
Okay.
to sell the bags of coffee, but to get it already, to have a hot or a cold coffee, you would come to us.
Okay. By the way, if you're watching or listening, I've been sipping on an HTeaO coffee, and it's really good. It's a caramel based. What is it? What did you call it?
It's called Liquid Gold.
Liquid Gold.
So
It
it's
tastes like it.
Yeah, it is. We don't have a huge coffee menu, but what we have is really good.
Yeah.
I consider myself a social coffee drinker. I would get one. I don't have to have it every day.
Me too. Yeah.
And I've tried every single one of them, and I'll be honest, they're very good. And when people come, I feel like you taste the coffee, not so much the sweet. Like it's sweet,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
you still know there's coffee in it. That's kind of my assessment of from other places versus ours. But it's Free Reign is a very good coffee. Like we get a lot of compliments on it.
Yeah, and so the one that you have on the table here, it's a dark roast called American Dirt.
American Dirt. Yeah, his, you have to really look at Free Reign. He has some really cool names, for his coffees. And I was actually on a video conference with Cole Hauser, Rip from Yellowstone. And he spoke to all the franchise owners, and his personality was exactly like it is on the show.
Oh, that's probably why they hired
yeah.
him.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we were talking to Rip. Yeah, it was
That's
really
so
cool. Yeah.
And then also, you guys are an official Yeti dealer.
We are.
Correct?
We are. So in our store, we have Yeti coolers, we have Yeti cups, Yeti buckets, bags. We have a good Yeti assortment.
Yeah.
It's a great place to have that, like I know it's hard sometimes in Lafayette during shopping season if you need a last minute gift, but our store's great. Like you can run in, grab a cup or, a koozie or, grab an ice chest for somebody. So we have that. We have HTeaO cups. They're really, really cool. Their branding, they really did a great job with this new set. Really cool cups and stuff. And we have gift cards, like, you can get a cup and put a gift card in it, and it's a great gift. Teachers' gifts, things like that. So, yeah, we have a lot of stuff. That's why I always say that don't just go through the drive-through, get down, experience it, taste all of the tea. That's really what we want everybody to do.
I agree. I think every person that goes to your place needs to go inside first.
Yes.
Like you said, get the experience, because to see the wall of tea, I call it a wall. It's a long line of tea dispensers, tea taps.
Yes.
And they're all bubbling, and, and it's just a really cool thing to see all the different flavors, but the different colors of the tea.
Yes.
Like some of them have a green tint, some of them have what flavor here you have on the table?
This is sweet blueberry green. So we also sell it by the gallon. Which is great for parties and events and stuff. So this is blueberry green. So it's like a blueberry base. So this is the color,
And it's got a kind of like that,
kind of like a red, deep
purplish red color.
and then our regular, just looks like, so you can see it against the regular,
Yeah.
So you can tell that, it has that flavoring, that natural flavor in it. So yeah, so we sell we sell gallons.
You sell some mini gallons.
We sell gallons, we sell half gallons, and then we have like these mini gallons, which are 32 ounces. People like to come and get like a huge cup of ice or a large cup of ice, and they'll get a half gallon or mini gallon to bring like to work.
Yeah.
So that they just keep refilling it.
So smart.
Yeah, so they come get our good ice, and then they refill it with a gallon while they're at work.
And then the coffee has the good ice as well. And obviously, because you guys have a whole water plant, the coffee has a good
water.
Yeah, the good water.
Yeah.
It's got the good tea,
Yeah.
the good coffee, good water, good ice.
We sell the top three things that are consumed in the world.
Yeah, you do.
We do. We sell water, coffee, and tea, and that's the top three.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and really, the ice is a fantastic thing right there, because depending on the ice shape, it's just frustrating. I'll sit there and I'll like use my tongue to kick the ice, and with this, it just.
What's the worst is when you do that and the whole thing falls and hits you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At Momo's house, man, as a kid, it was like
Those
them half moon shapes, and they would form to the cup, and they would hit you. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I was tongue wrestling ice for a long time as a kid.
It's so true. So true. Well,
Okay. Man.
Memories, huh?
Yes. And very good ones.
Yes.
And it was usually tea in the cup. Yes. And so, this is cool. So the jug right there, you got regular sweet tea?
Yeah, so this is regular sweet tea. We just have some people just come in. I mean, we have so many flavors.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when someone comes in and they're like, I'll take a gallon of sweet regular. I'm like, you sure? Yeah. Because I think of all the flavors. I don't think that people just like sweet regular,
Yeah, no, sweet regular is like.
But they tell us our sweet regular is excellent. So, like I said, I didn't grow up drinking it, so I don't really have much to compare it to.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of
good
reviews on the sweet regular.
That was if I were to get any jug of tea to keep in my refrigerator, it's probably going to be a regular sweet tea. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably be like, I'll get like a small half gallon of a flavor, but like definitely keep a larger stock. It's the larger one.
Yeah, and we have a sweet zero option. So there's some people who like that option, and then we also have 2 that have no caffeine.
Okay.
So if somebody just wants that flavor but no caffeine, we have that as well.
Yeah, literally, you have it all, man.
Yeah.
So the website for you guys, it is, I have it right here. It is, HTeaO. Is it HTeaO.com?
Yeah, HTeaO.com.
The letter H, the letter TeaO.com.
Yeah.
Not H, the number 2. Just if you're listening, because, HT, like the tea you drink, O.com. Check them out. Also, the links is in the caption. Also got their Facebook page, their Instagram.
You can order on our website. You can order on our app.
Oh, yeah, you have an app.
And we do DoorDash now.
Okay.
We're on DoorDash. But our app, you can order before you pick up so that when you get there, it's ready for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you still have the, when somebody downloads the app,
yes,
they get their first tea free?
They get a huge tea for free if you download the app. And then after that, you earn points and really great birthday month or birthday day. Now you'll get a free gallon on your day of your birthday. And then you earn points to get half price, free tea, free coffee, things like that. So.
Nice. And do you still have the happy hour?
We do.
Okay.
2 to 4 p.m. every single day.
Dude.
Not just the weekdays. All our cups of tea are half price. So any size cup of tea, half price. So you can get like a huge for I think it's like $2 or so. Like it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's
And
cheap. Our
the huge
regular
one-
prices are low to begin with.
So the huge cup, how many ounces is that? Is that 44?
50, I think.
50
or 52.
Wow.
Yes. I'm visualizing
That's
my
a lot
cup
of
box.
tea.
I think it's 50 or 52.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is me just thinking this purely as trying to be a balanced person.
Mm-hmm.
I like to request light ice. So the good thing about going in person, obviously you can ask for light ice in the drive-thru.
Absolutely.
But going in person, you don't have to get ice.
No. I'm telling you, a good chunk of our customers just come fill a cup of tea. No ice.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably pretty chilled already.
Or they'll fill up a huge of tea, and then our cup of ice is 95 cents.
There you go.
So they'll get a huge cup of ice for 95 cents. They'll get a huge cup of tea. They'll go to their office, and they'll drink it all day.
Yeah,
That's their little trick.
Love that.
Telling some more secrets.
All right. Well, cool. So if you're listening and watching, if you want to check out HTeaO, they are located at 1606 Collie Saloon Road. It's right there on the corner of Steiner and Collie Saloon Road right there. I guess it's still technically River Ranch.
Yeah, technically. It's that road that kind of,
Splits it from...
I mean, some people consider it split. Some people, I don't know.
Yeah.
We consider it River, we're right up.
Yeah,
right by
yeah.
River Ranch.
You're right there in River Ranch. Yeah. Just outside of the hustle and bustle of Collie Saloon and Ambassador.
Yes.
Which is a wild place to be during busy season, especially this season.
Yes.
Christmas season. It's nuts. But that's good for you guys because there's a lot more traffic in the area.
Yes. Oh, Collie Saloon is a heavily trafficked.
Yes.
I think the car count was like 40-something thousand cars a day.
Okay.
When we did it. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Last thing before we go, what can people expect for the future of HTeaO? So me being a tea drinker, I would love to, have more of you guys, but there are times where I am not on this side of town. In fact, the past couple of weeks, I've been trying my best not to go too far into this side of town because it's so heavily trafficked.
So busy, yeah.
I live in Karen Crow.
Okay.
So I'm in that north side, North Lafayette area. I would love to have the ability to not have to fight traffic to get to HTeaO.
Right.
Is there future plans to expand in Lafayette? You don't have to say yes or no, but it'd be great if there were.
The answer to that is yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The biggest comment we get is that the North Lafayette area, we're not really serving. It's hard. It takes so long to get to our location. So we are currently looking at property. We're looking for property in the... We've looked at Karen Crow. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
We're looking North Lafayette. So yes, we originally purchased, and we still have the Baton Rouge territory as well. But we're thinking that we need to expand the brand awareness in Lafayette and serve these customers first before we move on. That's our goal.
So we got a couple of comments, and I'll give you a tidbit. You probably already know this, but first off, we have some comments. Charity Lewis, Charity, I think Lewis. Is that Louise or Lewis? I don't know. But she commented, she says, I love HTeaO. Texas chai is my favorite. I actually like Texas chai too.
It's a cinnamony.
Yeah.
Yes, we do sell a lot of Texas chai.
Yeah, and actually one of your employees had recommended blending Texas chai. I don't know if it was Texas chai and mint. It was one of those combinations. And he said it's going to taste like, forget what he said it would taste like, but it tasted so similar and it was really good. I was like, I would never thought to have mixed.
Right. Yeah. I always encourage my employees to try different things and just play with the flavors, because customers will come in and say, look, I like this. What can I mix it with?
Yeah.
You know, so they play with the flavors. They try everything. And yeah, and customers have told us some combinations. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, whatever floats that boat. Okay, so before we go, big news, and if you're watching and listening at the moment, it's safe for me to announce this because Buc-ee's is official.
Oh.
They closed on their property.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's going to be big news. Hopefully today that it gets fully published. I'm just waiting for the official go ahead, but yeah, Buc-ee's is coming officially to Lafayette. Now it's been in the news. It's been mentioned a little bit, but the land was still in pending state.
Yeah.
The land is officially bought. It's going to be located at Louisiana Avenue and I-10.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've had people ask me, you know, why don't y'all go over there? I said, I can't compete with Buc-ee's. Like, if you stop at Buc-ee's, you are getting a drink, you're getting a snack.
You're getting everything. Yeah.
You're getting everything.
Now, you might get bleed over.
I don't want to be anywhere near Buc-ee's, other than personally there, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for the store, it doesn't make sense. But
yeah, because that's a one-stop shop. It really is.
Yeah.
You're stopping there to get gas. That's why when you leave Buc-ee's, it costs you $160.
Oh, yeah.
Or more. I've never left Buc-ee's spending less than $60.
Oh, no, absolutely
Easy,
not.
because I have to get gas, and thankfully I have a small car, so my gas bill is, you know, depending on the state of the economy, it's like $25 to $30. I have a small car. My wife's like sometimes 40, sometimes 50.
Yeah.
And then when you go in, my wife loves to get a T-shirt. Every road trip we get, she gets a T-shirt, so that's like 20-something bucks. And then
that darn beef jerky.
The beef jerky and the fudge.
That'll get you, you know.
Yeah.
I love their chocolate-covered pecans. I don't know if you've ever tried them. They're in the clear bag by the register.
I'm with you on the nuts. I'm a little nuts for dark chocolate-covered cashews.
Okay.
I love a cashew. And they have dark chocolate-covered ones. I'm like,
I get the milk chocolate-covered pecan. That is my...
I'm going to have to try the pecan. I tried their toasted pecans, the ones that's in the little cone bag
like
or whatever.
Cinnamony, yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, no, these are like, the chocolate on it is excellent. So everybody knows if you pass by Buc-ee's, I need a bag.
Yeah. Look, some people have a love-hate relationship with Buc-ee's. Let me tell you, you're at a certain point in your road trip, you're going to stop.
You're stopping.
There's a thing that you got to do sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to stop.
And that's the best place to do it.
That's the best place to do it. And if you're picking up what we're putting down, it flushes down. There you go. Just a little there. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Just thought I'd put that in there. But hey, good for you for not wanting to go near Buc-ee's.
Yeah, no. I think that's probably the smartest business decision I've made.
But it's going to be good for the Lafayette area. I think it's going to bring a lot of traffic to that side of town. Yeah. So wherever you choose to go, wherever you're looking, you probably will see some growth there, some good opportunities. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Kylie. Well, it was good to have you on.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed the coffee, and I can't wait to have I see a cup there with ice.
I have a cup of ice and
all right,
your sweet regular and one to try.
So is that mine to keep?
Oh yes, this is yours to keep. Yeah, all right, definitely.
Cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you on. I love talking about tea. Anytime I'm with family, I'll talk about tea if they're willing to talk about it. Most of my family doesn't drink tea except for me and my little boy and like one or two family members. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love the concept. I love the fact that you have a plant. I love everything about it. And I hope you guys continue to do well and to keep growing. And I look forward to seeing where you are in the next few years.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind sharing this episode with a friend or two, we are starting to actively put clips of our episode on TikTok. I am going to try to put clips of it on Facebook on the T Podcast Facebook page too. But TikTok, I've recently had a couple of videos on our podcast go viral on there, so kind of interesting how that works. Anyway, and those videos have been up for several weeks. But yeah, go check us out on TikTok. Follow us if you aren't following us already, and we hope you have a great weekend and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever flavor works for you. And again, Kylie, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that is it. See you on the next one.